Hey Team Nos, what's going on? Happy Saturday here from Colorado. It's beautiful out, but it's hazy as hell from smoke and fires, so it looks like crap. Welcome to Colorado. Happy Saturday. Just left big Yamaha dealership for demo day. Never done one of those before, so that was kind of cool. Oh, mate, come on. Oh, bro, just bro. Anyways, yeah, I just left the big Yamaha dealership demo day. Rode some cool bikes. That was fun. I rode the FZ07, the XSR 900, best bike of the day by far. Like one of the best bikes I've ever ridden, XSR 900, and the Super Snare, big adventure bike. Figured I'd give that a try compared to the Tiger a little bit. So reviews are all coming out for that, for those three bikes. I'll just say XSR was by far the best of the day. I would argue that was one of the best bikes I have ever ridden, the XSR 900. It blows the FZ09 out of the water because it has a slightly tighter suspension on it, and the seat is much better, and it's a more comfortable position, and it's very similar to the FZ09, and I've ridden both, but the XSR just has a different feel to it. And I think with the styling and the seat and the position, it has all the power of the FZ09, the engine, right? But it's just got a slightly different feel to it. It's got a more laid back, kind of chill feel that it's so planted to the ground with that suspension that it handles amazingly, but it's with that styling, it's just a little more chill than the FZ07, or the FZ09, excuse me, which I really liked. I really, really liked it. And that kind of briefly talks about, or briefly goes into a little bit what I wanted to talk about today, and that was a potential replacement for the Gladius. I've kind of talked about this before. My undying love for my Gladius, right? Almost 21, well, just over 20,000 miles on her now, and she's getting old, but, every once in a while I think about a replacement for it. Now I have the Tiger. It's a little different now that I have the Tiger. Earlier on, before I had the Tiger, I was like really actively, well, not really actively, I won't say that. I was just kind of more in tuned and open to the idea of replacing the Gladius with something, right? So I was looking a little more around and kind of figuring out what might be a good replacement. Of course, I rode, the Street Triple, the 675. Today I finally got to ride an FZ07, which was great because that's another bike I've been considering to replace this, so I finally got to ride that, get a feel for that. I'll be talking about that in my video, in my review for it. But just, I've been thinking about it, a little bit, is if there's a replacement out there for it. I don't think there is, and it's not to say I really need a replacement for it, because I don't even ride this that much anymore. I mostly ride the Tiger, right? Tiger gets ridden a lot more than this. And so, let's make sure my camera's actually recording. Is it recording? Yeah, it's recording. Okay. It's not like I need a replacement for it, right? And it's not like this thing is dying. I don't, need a new bike, but especially since I don't ride it too much anymore. I ride the Tiger, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I really need to replace this, which I don't. But, I've been thinking about it. And what's another bike out there that I might like? FZ07 was a big option. I rode that today. The new SV650, another amazing option. That bike is beautiful, by the way, as far as I'm concerned. Hey, guys. That's a beautiful bike. It's such a return to form of the SV with the circular headlight, very basic standard bike. And it's definitely a return to form. And of course the Gladius was the successor of the original SVs, and it was a shot. Suzuki took a big shot with the Gladius with a completely different styling, very unusual, unique styling, to see if it would work. And of course it didn't sell that well, and so maybe it didn't work, and of course that's kind of why we're back to the SV in its sort of original look, form, and feel. So that's a big option too. I love it, by the way. It's a beautiful bike as far as I'm concerned. And then there's also, potentially an a 675, you know, in the future. I kind of didn't want that because, you know, I really wanted that before I had the Tiger. Once I got the Tiger, I was sort of like, well, I have the Tiger, I have a Triumph triple, like I don't really need another Triumph triple, right? I don't need two of them, even though they're different engine sizes and all that. I don't really need a Tiger and a street triple. I mean, I could have both the same, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of variation, right, in your lineup, right? And so the 675 is there as well, but it's kind of a back burner idea. I'd love to have one. I loved test riding it when I did. I mean, it's an amazing machine. It has, you know, a lot of sort of upgrades that the Japanese models don't have. You know, it has a little better brakes, it has better suspension, all that kind of crap. So the 675 is there as well. But today, now, you know, before I've ridden the FZ09 before, and I loved it. It's an amazing bike. It's a bike that's easy to scare the crap out of yourself on because it's so fast and so wheelie easy and all that, right? That it's easy to scare the crap out of yourself on it. But I hadn't really thought about it. Like I loved riding it, but I hadn't thought about it as an actual like replacement bike that I might buy, you know. But then I rode the XSR today, and you know, I came to the demo day just like, hey, I'll ride the XSR. It's a new bike that's out there. I've already ridden that engine on the FZ09, so I mean, I might as well just try it out and see what it's like. And I was extremely pleasantly surprised by that bike. It just had an amazing feel to it. That was, like I said, it was so different. It did feel a lot different than the FZ07, and it felt like it was more my style. You know, it's a little less of that aggressive styling. I love the old school styling on the SXR. It looks amazing. I think it looks brilliant, really. And so I like the styling a little more. And I like the feel of it a little more. It just feels like a little bit more of my kind of a machine rather than that like super aggressive looking, snappy, easy power wheelie, blah 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 of the FZ09. And you know, the XSR has the same exact engine. It has all that performance, all that acceleration that FZ07 does, but it just feels a little different. You know, it has a different feel to it, a different sitting position, a different seat. And so, I don't know, maybe that's a freaking option. I never even thought about, you know, I remember seeing the XSR in magazines and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, that'd be a really cool bike to see on the road. Like, and then I rode it today and I was like, holy crap, what a great bike. You know, it's great. I loved it. I think I honestly will be looking into it a little more. I don't know if I actually will replace the Gladius with one because it's a little money, you know, it's kind of expensive, and since I don't really ride the Gladius that much, I don't know if I can justify spending like 10 grand on a brand new XSR that's mostly going to sit in the garage. So that's kind of iffy, you know. So we'll see. I don't know if a replacement for the Gladius is coming or not. It may not be. It may be. You know, as you guys have known for 4 years now of me vlogging, like, I love the Gladius. I don't want to give it up. It's just so great. Hey girl, how you doing? It's just so great. And so I don't know if I actually want to replace it or if I even just, I mean, since I don't ride it that much, do I want to sell it and just not get another bike? But that sounds terrible because I love it. I just don't know. You know, it's hard to tell. So, you know, FZ07 is kind of out of the mix now. I'm going to be honest, it's kind of a spoiler from the other video, but I didn't like it. Its suspension was not good. And it just didn't feel that inspiring or great or substantial to me. It felt not so inspiring. The XSR, brilliant bike. I love the Tenere too. Of course, it's bigger than the Tiger, right? The Tiger's an 800. This Tenere is a 1200. Much different bike, but it felt great. It felt great. I love the shaft drive. I love the weight of it. The center of gravity on it is almost identical to the Tiger. And so when you're riding it around on streets especially, you don't feel the weight difference that much because the center of gravity is in the same spot. And so it really doesn't feel that much different than being on the 800, the smaller, lighter bike. So I don't know, take that with a grain of salt, but yeah, so I don't know what's coming, guys, but thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done a real vlog. I've been trying to put out videos of off-roading and stuff on the Tiger, and so I'm trying to keep going. I mean, life is busy, and I know it's tough, so I'm sorry. But thank you for sticking with me if you have. Keep watching the channel. Next bike I'm gonna check out will definitely be the new SV. I haven't ridden it yet, although I know it's almost identical in performance aspects to the Gladius, so I really don't expect it to be any different than what I'm riding right now, but I might give that a ride sometime. I don't know, who knows. But XSR, holy crap, Yamaha, you guys built a brilliant bike in that 900. A brilliant bike. I was so pleasantly surprised riding on it. I got on it and I figured like it would be kind of, you know, since it's that more classic look, Scrambler-esque feel to it. You know, I thought it might be kind of lower seat height, you know, clunky feeling. But then I got on it and the performance aspects of it in that suspension felt so solid and so precise that I was very, very pleasantly surprised getting on the SXR today. I was. And I only got to ride it for like 10-15 minutes, but that 10-15 minutes was great on it. Like I could easily own one of those. Why are we going like 10 under the limit here, bro? But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Nasarama out. Peace. Stick with the channel. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye guys. Happy Saturday. Happy summer.